What's poppin', homies? It's your favorite homegirl, Gossip Girl. And today I want to talk about Wendy Williams' son, Kevin Hunter Jr. Now, it says here that he is 22 years old and he's evicted from his $2 million Miami apartment after his mom um, is cut off from fortune and can't pay his rent. Now, I would think that Wendy Williams' son would have a trust fund. I don't know if he has one, but I would, would think that he had a trust fund. Wendy, she was a celebrity, very well known. She had some money, but I don't know if he had a trust fund. But from what I'm reading here, that his apartment, he is $70,000 behind in back rent. I feel like this. He's 22. He can get out there and he can get, start a life for himself. He can get out there and work. If this is the case, he can get out there and work. Okay? He can get out there and work. He's young. He was in school full time, but COVID hit, right? So let's go ahead and get right into this and see what's really going on. So in documents, is that Wendy's only child was hit with a lawsuit seeking nearly $70,000 in back rent for non-payment on his Florida apartment since February of this year. Now, I don't know how much his rent was, and why does he need a $2 million apartment? He's only 22. But if my mom, was Wendy Williams and she had the money and she was getting me a home, what I would do, I would either have her purchase a condo, that way I can own it, or purchase a townhouse. That way I can own it. If things was to happen, it would be mine. Only thing I would have to pay for is, utilities and taxes. But people get into these things and don't think things are gonna happen later on down the line. You gotta be prepared for anything. Anything could go wrong. In this situation, Wendy Williams, she's not on the Wendy Williams show anymore. So that money is not coming in. And the money that she has a guardianship over it. So they not playing. They not issuing out no money to nobody except for Wendy, because she has to live off, she has to live. So, wow. Now this eviction suit, it was filed in August, right? And it includes copies of Kevin Jr.'s lease, which shows Wendy paid for a full year in advance, as well as security deposit and other fees. Wendy Williams dropped over $100,000 on the apartment for her 22-year-old son for the first year of the lease, which started in March of 2021 and ended in February of this year, with Kevin agreeing to continue the rent, to rent the apartment on a monthly basis after the lease term had passed. Now, at this time, things were starting to happen, and I would have tried to get out that lease and get something cheaper. That way, I can maintain the bills. But he's 22 years old. He got this $2 million apartment in Miami. He's going to have to get out there and work. He's going to have to get out there and work and make a name for himself or get a good job. He's 22. He's very young. He can still do it. Okay. Now we know that Wells Fargo had Wendy Williams' accounts frozen in January. So that lines up with the overrent due began to pile up. And as mentioned in Kevin's eviction lawsuit. Now, in his response to the lawsuit, Kevin told the court that his famous mother rented the apartment for him. He said that as the lease approached the end, my mom went through some health issues that put the court in control of her finances, and that all of her financial support that she always gave had stopped, including his housing. Now, I wish there was a way, because he is Wendy's son, and I wish there was a way that, the court did pay for his housing so he can have somewhere to live. I understand Kevin Sr., he's a grown man. He cheated on Wendy, had a whole baby with his mistress on Wendy. So I could understand them not giving him anything. But, and like I said, I don't know how the court guardianship works. I would think they will, help her son. You get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. It just seems crazy. But, hey, it is what it is, right? So, Kevin added that he is currently in school full time, but had to take a full year off due to COVID and taking care of his mom. Now, Kevin said, he also said for medical and legal reasons, she has not been able to pay the rent for the past months since the first year lease ended and the court controlled her finances. He also said everything happened very quickly and unexpectedly, and I had no idea things would end up like this, before adding that he would be moving out on September 7th. Now, here we are in December, so I don't know if he's still staying there or he's moved out. And we know that Kevin Jr. is not the only person whose living conditions have been impacted by Wendy Williams being placed under financial guardianship. Because her ex-husband, honey, as we all know, Kevin, he was saying how the money, the alimony payments that was in the agreements had stopped, and he was living off of those payments 100%. So the courts came in, they have guardianship, they stopped that, and he filed a motion to continue those payments, but I don't think they did. I didn't see any reports that they did. But as for Wendy Williams' son, I really do hope that the courts could pay for his housing, maybe an extra year. But after that, he has to go out there and get a job. I don't know he has like some type of trust fund. Because if he does, he could use that. But still, you can still go to school and you can still work. Maybe get a apartment that you could afford yourself. Because look what's going on with Wendy. She has guardianship over her money. And then they're not going to give out money that's not necessary or beneficial to Wendy, So they're not going to let her money just go everywhere. They're not going to do that. But as for her son, I just, hope they can pay his finances so that he'll have somewhere to stay. But then again, I heard that Wendy Williams and Kevin Jr. wasn't speaking. He wasn't speaking to his mom for whatever reason. And let me tell you something. I don't know what happened with that situation, but you only have one mom. And if your mom is footing the bill for you, try to work it out. Or be a man and carry your own weight. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's what's out there right now. Not sure if it's all 100% true, but I did want to talk about it to see if any of you guys heard about this. If you have, let me know in the comment section. But like I said, I just hope that it's been a couple of months now. I just hope he, his part was worked out. Because, he is her son. So I hope his part was worked out. All right, you guys. So as for this, that's all I have. So I do have some other news coming up, and we'll talk about it later.